What's good, everybody? Trey with Kick Jeans back in the studio for my final thoughts over the Adidas Springblade. First thing I want to say or do is give props to Adidas running. They're really running the running lane when it comes to, making these new running models and concepts. Now, since this shoe has been out for a while, I've had the luxury of watching a few reviews. Now, I usually don't watch or read any reviews before we put ours out, but like I said, this shoe has been out for a minute. The reviews were just sitting there, so I'm like, yo, whatever. I won't name drop, but every single review I've watched had one thing in common. They blindly follow the marketing claim that Adidas made. 16 fine-tuned and perfectly angled blades that propel you forward. Let me tell you guys something. Not to toot our own horn, but from the outside looking in, that's why I would love to watch a channel like ours, like Kick Jeans. Because when it comes down to it, we're not gonna bullshit you guys. We don't care if it sounds good. That's all marketing, which is cool, to each his own. But over here, less talk, more doing. That's what we're about. I remember telling Jay Jones from day one, I was like, yo, let's help these people out. There's so many people out there who are just blindly following these marketing tactics and spending hard-earned money on something that's not there, which isn't cool. And these reviews I used to see, and I'm still seeing, aren't helping. So I'm like, yo, let's really break this stuff down, especially for athletes who think they're gonna have some type of advantage if they purchase a certain type of shoe. And let's really let them know if they're gonna be buying what they think they're gonna be buying. Especially for you kids who don't have any source of income besides allowance. You saving up your lunch money for months, you're starving yourself. You show up the finish line with your ribs showing, drop $200 on spring blades, your ribs look like spring blades. You got a track meet the same day and the shoe doesn't propel you forward like you said it would. I know, it's such a sad story. Now, I've ridden in these a multitude of times and never once did I feel like I was being propelled forward. And if you own a pair and you feel like you've been propelled forward, well, my friend, meet the placebo effect. Not to get too nerdy or anything, but how can you be propelled forward by something that's not even creating a propulsive force? I mean, let's just look at basic propulsion principles. You can look at kinematic change, ground force reaction, line of force, etc. But it comes down to basic conversion of potential energy to kinetic energy. Let me sketch a jackrabbit really quick so I can demonstrate the biomechanics of an animal when it comes to propulsion. Now, don't judge me based off my sketch. Contrary to popular belief, I'm actually not good at everything. A jack of all trades is an ace at none, right? If you look here, specifically at the ankle joint, where the body, which I'm gonna refer to as the platform, interacts with the ground. This is where the magic happens. Imagine this being the point at which the blades of the spring blade meet the midsole. Notice that whichever direction the force is moving, an angle is formed opening up in the same direction. Let's look at a few stages of kangaroo biomechanics. Here's the ground we'll be propelled off of. This is where the recoil happens, which is where the stored energy is. The angle is opening up in the same direction as the body or platform is moving. Just look at this greyhound in slow motion. Now, if you were to angle his legs in the same direction as the blades on the spring blades, which is the opposite of what they are now, this dog would literally be flung backwards if, in fact, the spring blades create any force at all. I say if because if it were creating any force, then when I come in contact with the ground while wearing the spring blades, then that energy would be stored at the recoil spot, and when it releases, I would be flung backwards, which I haven't been. One of the most basic parts of propulsion is the leverage handle, which is the part that's not the platform. And I just don't think the leverage handles, aka the blades on the spring blades, are long enough. Just look at the leg to body ratio of an ostrich, a kangaroo, a frog, a flea, even a human. It's 1-to-1 if not more. Now look at these teeny little blades. You really think they're creating any force that'll lift anybody that weighs over half a pound? I highly doubt it. Now, besides the spring blades not doing what it claims, I kind of like the shoe. I definitely put it in my top 10 most innovative looking silhouettes of 2013. The Tech Fit upper is just as comfortable as some Flyknit models if we're being honest. However, I personally like to be closer to the ground while I'm running. These blades put you pretty high compared to more common outsole and midsole combinations. Overall, it's not a bad shoe. I like the idea, it just doesn't work. So if you're looking for a shoe that turns heads based off the design, you know, you're not really worried about the shoe being functional, then the Adidas Springblade may not be a bad choice for you. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I was able to inform as well as entertain. That's always the goal over here at Kick Genius. Make sure to go back and check out any performance tests / reviews that you've missed in the past, and also be checking for any upcoming performance tests and reviews we got coming. So you know, subscribe if you like, and that's about it. It's Trey from Kick Genius, and I'm out.